Welcome, welcome everyone to the Best Damn Podcast. I am your host, John Keene. As always, I would like to thank you guys for joining me. Ask that you please add, follow, and check us out. www.spreaker.com/user/best damn podcast. Also, wherever you're watching from, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and all of that good stuff. I know I've been away for kind of a minute, but I did manage to get a new PC and kind of get everything taken care of. I actually had it a day or so ago, but I've been sick, so I wasn't able to really do anything. I do appreciate everybody for joining me. Let me see who's popped up here in the chat. Um, John Brody, good to hear from you. Well, good to hear from you too, dude. Carol Dryling, Know Thyself. Johnny925, Patty Statler, Tim Hamby. Yeah, man. Uh, yeah, dude. I was really excited to. I actually got something better than I was using before, so I wanted to do a test and see if everybody could hear me. If everybody could hear me and see me okay. Um, and I sound down. I'm sick. That's why. I'm not down. I'm sick. I got sick like 2 days ago. Uh, I got chest crap going on, and I had a fever last night. I was going to do a video last night, and then my fever kicked in, so I just slept all night last night, and then slept mostly all day today. Loud and clear. That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, just right now, it's just what you needed right now. That's great. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad this is just what you needed. It's all good on this end. That's cool. I'm gonna try my best to do a video tonight um, on just a lot of the things that have been going on since I stopped making videos. Damn, something bad's going around. I know, man. I usually if I get sick, I usually fight it off within like a day or so or something. But this one's just, ugh, it's yucky. It's one of those yucky ones. I've been missed. Well, thank you, thank you. You've been missing me. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Um, it was good. It was good for me though. In one hand, to to take a break. I think I press a lot, man. That's just me. I press a lot. I press like because I care about the shit so much. And I think I've said this before. Like so sometimes, and I think like God too. God will intervene in those moments and be like, okay, you're not going to stop, so I'm going to stop you, you know? Or you're not going to do what I need you to do, so I'm going to make something happen. That way you will, you know? And I think that, uh, that's how I try to look at those kind of things. Keep up vitamin D. Don't burn out the brain, burn down the weed. That's funny. What are y'all going to do when we can't communicate with one another? Well, you know, um, we'll always have people, though. We'll always have people, and I think that that's what, if anything, to me, this is showing you the value of people. You know, it does me, anyways. It's not so much about the content or any of that stuff for me anymore. It's about the people and about the connections and all of that. That's what I get tired of making content sometimes, like, but I don't ever get tired of good people, loving people. Like nobody gets. I hope nobody would get tired of that. That's what it's all about. Um, it's easy to be like selfish in our lives. I'm selfish. Um, a lot of people, we're all like kind of self-centered beings. Um, but it's nice to see like that we can do shit for each other, and like the things that we do affects each other. So sometimes like you know it's got good motivation to not just be good for yourself, but to be good for other people. I think you know John will be on ham radio in a van somewhere when the internet goes down and shit is hitting the fan. No doubt, I probably will for real. If I have all the access. Hey, the best damn podcast. Rumble just went public, stated that they're going against big tech, and their platform is all about freedom. I'm on Rumble. I watch videos on Rumble. I watch videos there. Um, it's decent, but that could be a ploy too, right? Like all of these platforms when they first come out say they're against big tech, and then what ends up happening? They end up shadow banning every fucking body that goes against the narrative. They end up changing their community guidelines. It's just a matter of time, you know, for all of this. And that's the point. You can't be in the system whatsoever and be apart from the system. And and even something as simple as like making, content and shit like that. It's hard for me a lot of times to keep out of the system when I keep jumping back in it, right? Um, because we're all on the monetary hook. We're all on the, we got kids, we got family hook, we got people we want to protect hook, right? They've got you hooked a million ways, and they keep you from being independent by buying up all the farming, shutting down all the private farming, and all these things. That way you'll never be independent of the system. And you can see that's why, the Bible says, like, come out of her, lest you share in her destruction, right? Because it's saying, like, you can't even have one toe in the water on this thing when it falls apart because it's so interconnected. It'll suck you down the drain with it. It'll suck you down the drain with it. and that's what I realize more and more as I go along. Like it's almost, and what's that the quote from Nietzsche, right? Like be careful when uh, you know battling monsters to not become one yourself, or something like that. I think that's what he's actually like referring to. Is like we try to be these heroes or anti-heroes of the system and say, okay guys, look what they're doing to all of us, and look at the state we're all in. And then in doing such, right, like by resisting the system, because every action creates a reaction. So as your resistance, you're creating an opposing force. So you're building the monster that you're fighting against at the same time, right? So they need people like us to exist. They need the antagonist just as much as we do to become more like light, right? They need it just the same, right? That opposing force, something in conflict with who you are, with your character, something that forces you to overcome your normal everyday circumstances and situations. You know, oh, it's so good to see you too. It's so good to see you. Um, they're all graduated animal farms. And if you hear me like wheezing in the microphone, I apologize, dude. I'm sorry. Uh, um, well, and here's the thing, like, what can we do to really to shape the world to the way we want it to be, you know, outside of their rules, outside of playing their games. To me, I almost feel like this is what they want me to do, right? Like they want me to come on YouTube, and they want me to build a following, and they want me to, you know, do all of these things because they know, you know, that it's normalizing it's normalizing the brutality of the system. It's normalizing the chaos that we all live in now. It's you know, it's putting us in a, I don't know if it does more harm than good sometimes, right? And it also allows them to see who is who, and who is going to, who are the dissidents, who are the ones that are just fed the fuck up, and they're no longer going to capitulate with this stuff no matter what happens, right? They get a bead on all of us this way too, right? And think about it. They've got us, you know, boxed into these fucking echo chambers now on the internet, to where you can be the most influential voice out there. You can be the biggest leader of them all, right? And they'll have it to where you can only reach just a tiny little fraction of your audience or of your sphere of influence. Um, and it's the ones that I believe that they think are just too far gone. So they let us have our own voice echo back and forth to us. You know, it's like, okay, we can't get nothing new. They're hoping to tire you out, to wear you down. And like the Bible describes this too, like the wearing down of the saints. And most people don't even realize that it says we're overcome eventually. So in the physical, the being overcome, I don't think is actually a loss though. I think in the physical, it's saying we finally let go of this fight so we win the next, or we win the real one, right? We stop fighting for this, right? We stop fighting for recognition, accolades, money, all of the things that they try to get us to fight for: power, influence, control. We stop fighting for all of those things, and we let that battle go, and to win the real one, the one of unity, the one of love, the one of togetherness, the one that we the one that we should have been fighting for from the very beginning. But maybe it takes all that we've seen, all that we've been through, to know that that's what we should have been fighting for. You know. Yes, thank you. You're not trying to change the world, you're trying to change minds. I absolutely am. Social media is a trap in a lot of ways. Just know how to manipulate it in a positive way. But who's to decide that my positive is the right way, though? You feel me? I'm no better than them if I'm playing their games and I'm trying to gain this sphere of influence to manipulate the system too. I'm just trying to say my ideas are superior, right? When I do those things. So I become the monster, right? You understand what I'm saying? Like, so we're battling it just like Nietzsche said. Here, I'll pull it up, man. I'll pull up the quote for you. That way you see what I'm talking about. And I'm paraphrasing it here, but I know the quote will pop up. Whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process he does not become a monster. And if you gaze long enough into an abyss, the abyss will gaze back into you. Something went wrong. Understand what's being said there, y'all. Like, it's some deep shit right there. Whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process he does not become a monster. And if you gaze long enough into the abyss, the abyss will gaze back into you. And that's what I mean. Who's to say my right is right? Who's to say my ideas are superior? Who's to say my battle is more worthy? Who's to say that I have the right to control or influence anyone over them? Right? And if I start to believe I do, if I start to think I do, then I have become the monster. Just a different brand, just a different version, just a different kind. You know? And I don't know if people are considering that option. You know, we all want to battle for control. We all want to battle for influence. We all want to battle for power and to see who comes out on top of all of this. But nobody's considering the fact that it's none of ours to come out on top of. It belongs to all of us. The realm of ideas should be open to everyone and everything, like all of it. Even their terrible fucking ideas should be allowed to exist. You know? This belongs to none of us. And God is the super consciousness of all of us put together. You know? That's who it belongs to. And not one of us can take that in vain, in vanity, for ourselves. Right? It's not ours to be vain about. Not ours to be vain about. And that's what it means to take the Lord's name in vain. It means out of vanity. It doesn't mean saying God damn like people think. That's a very exoteric, external way of thinking, right? If you think the super consciousness that is God would be worried about your language, I think you're tripping. You know, you're tripping. He doesn't care what guttural sounds you utter. I'm sure of it. But he does care that, you know, we try to take it and label ourselves, you know, something above another one of his children. Like saying, yo, we're the kids of God, not you. We become no better. We polarized ourselves. We divided ourselves just like they did by these ideas. And you see why ideas are so deadly, why they have to be exterminated, like by the opposing team, right? Like they're like, oh, you know, it's ideas that are deadly, ideas that are infinite, ideas outlive the person, ideas outlive everything. Yeah, well, mandate in Black's law equals voluntary compliance. Yeah, well, that's what it is, anyways, right? They make you feel like, and that's why it's you're being yoked into servitude through law or obligation. When you're obligated, you're obliged to do it, right? So, people are still choosing it. People are still choosing it. And that's the sad thing, like where we find ourselves now. Like people are so detached from reality when you talk about real shit. Like they vaporize their minds, their attention, all of it. All of it. And it's a shit thing to watch too, right? To watch your own race, your own species kind of like eradicate itself the way that we're doing right now. Not fun. Not fun at all, right? To see us do these things to ourselves. Like, it almost makes you wonder, like, the whole theory of like simulations and shit like that. What if this is how we ended ourselves and we're reliving it to learn how bad we fucked up on it? You know, to try to do something different, to get another shot. And the reason nature is cyclical and the creation is cyclical is because we never fucking learn the lesson. We keep doing it over and over. And that's what the graduation is about, is finally a group of us will see, finally, after how many revolutions of destruction and cataclysm and whatever else, right? This prophetical fate, you were told about it before it happened and you still did it. Think about that. Think about that. We were told about it before it ever happened, and we still did it. Let that sink in for a second. Like, for real. Let that sink in for a second. We were warned against the future. We were warned against all of these things. We had every answer right in front of us. Every one of them, the whole time. And as it was being done, we were being told the whole time. Right? Like, does anybody wrap their head around that concept? Like, how fucked up we are to have even ended up in this place? Ended up in this spot? You know? We're doing something wrong here. And that's why, you can never have a true grassroots movement of anything. Because we corrupt it with these ideas of we're superior, of we're better, of we're right and they're wrong. And I think the whole key to all of it is destiny. It could be destiny. But if there's free will, it's a choice. And we keep choosing destruction. Right? So if it's destiny, yeah, sure. We can't change destiny, right? If it's destined. I agree with that. But if it's free will, like we're told it is, then it's a choice. And we keep choosing cataclysm. We keep choosing destruction. We keep choosing war, famine, death, disease. We keep choosing these things. Right? Meaning we don't have to. Meaning we could choose something totally different. We should have chose something totally different. That's what it feels like to me. Is the group choice going to condemn us? Well, think about it. We are the group choice. The illusion is that there's of the individual. Right? Collectively, we are God. Right? Collectively, we are one entity. It's the different personas that creates the individual expression. So if we condemn our brother, we condemn ourselves. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, you are. Right? That's the lesson of Cain and Abel. That's the lesson of Enki and Enlil. That's the lesson of all of it. First comes the warrior, then comes the shepherd. Right? We want to fight against everything first. And we bring death into the system, bring death into our lives, into the situation first. Then comes the shepherd. We realize, like, we have to be at peace. And that we need guidance. Something greater than ourselves. And that it's love that actually wins the day. Or is the superior of all the ideas. Right? And in every story, every religion, every historical account, it's the same thing over and over. The warrior, then the shepherd. Every time. First Adam, last Adam. We're supposed to evolve from point A to B. And the fact that we've been destroyed so many times shows us that we don't do it. Shows us that we don't do it, because I don't think the force of God is just some degenerate fuck that likes to kill us over and over. Matter of fact, I believe the complete opposite of that. It looks as if the force of what we call God, and even the angels and all of that, as evil as some of them may appear, it all appears to be constructed for our benefit. Every last bit of it, like to the T, constructed for our benefit. Like, and I don't believe that these entities, these beings, would be wasting their time just to mess with us. Right? Like, there's a giant point here, and there's a giant answer here. Like, and we just don't reach it ever. I have hope that we are this time. I think we are this time. I think we will this time. I don't know if we have yet. And see that, like I was saying, like, so what, because we're all one being, you know, as those of us that are creating the reality begin to realize this ultimate this ultimate answer to everything, right? Like, we begin to shift out of this place consciously. We leave this world behind in every way. And as we do this, we only leave behind our shadow. So down here becomes more and more destitute. It becomes more and more dark because the light of the world is leaving. And the Bible talks about this too. There'll be a day when the Holy Spirit is not here, right? That's what he's speaking about. He's speaking about us ascending into a higher state and us not being, you know, here anymore. The light not being here anymore. The world has chosen darkness, so darkness it gets, right? And those who realize the question, they realize the answer, the solution, all of it, they're going on. You know, they're going on. And maybe that's what happened to the Mayans. Maybe that's what happened to some of these ancient civilizations. Maybe they graduated. Maybe they figured it out too. And those who don't are left to fight over the scraps. You know? And the world becomes this collective shadow because all of the light is gone. It's left. Right? It's learned its lesson. It's moved on. It's moved on. And that's what we would call the end of the world or whatever, right? And it's apocalypse just actually means to reveal, the revealing, to show you the purpose of everything, to show you the meaning of everything, to show you why. And I know this to be true. Most of you guys were born, and you wanted to know why. Right? You wanted to know why. That was a question, at least I always wanted to know. Like, why? Why? And maybe there's a reason for that. Because that was the one question we needed to learn. Why do we keep repeating this? Why do we keep fucking up? Why don't we value human life? Why don't we value the earth? Why don't we adhere to God? Why don't, you know what I mean? These kind of things. Why don't we pursue love? Why do we feel like this world is so important that we're kept under its expectations and its obligations? Why can't we just be free? Why? You know? And I think it's when you start asking that question that you finally start to get at least a version of real answers. I agree, Global Witness. This is the place we are intended to escape, not stay. Absolutely, man. Which, I love me some Derek Bros, by the way. And, I think that's, and speaking of, that's one of the first people that got me to start thinking on this level of, you know, the playing field. Was like, you know, sometimes we need a new perspective on things, man. You know, and I think you can't get that when you get caught up in it, right? So that's what I mean. Like sometimes it's good to take a break or step back or, whatever because it allows you perspective. It allows you perspective, point of view. It allows you perspective, and we're adding to our own shit right now. Like we're enslaving ourselves. Don't it feel like that? Like the more it goes on, like they have a plan for social cataclysm. They want society to collapse. That's why they're engineering it, manufacturing it. If they didn't, it wouldn't happen, right? They would steer the population in a different direction. They would steer all of you guys into, a direction of harmony or something, right? If that was their benefit. But their benefit is the destruction of the old world. So they can systematically take you into a totalitarian state, inch by inch, piece by piece. And they do it under the guise of an emergency because that's how they've always done it, right? The war against terrorism, the war on drugs, the war against the invisible enemy. And they'll label it anything they gotta do to pass it through. Hate speech, right? What is hate speech, anyways? You know? Cancel cultures, censorships, political correctness. These are all tactics to manipulate people into mass mind control. And I think all the destruction that's coming down around us is us trying to resist this system, and maybe we're destroying it ourselves before we're completely enslaved and we can't escape it ever again. If you think about it. If the collective consciousness is the mind of God, then we're destroying it ourselves before they can enslave us totally. Which, by the way, I told you guys I thought there would be some big seismic stuff coming in December. You guys see Marfugal News' video? Everything's shaking on the West Coast. You know? It's like, I think we're doing it. I think we're doing it. I think we're building the new heaven, the new earth as we speak. But I think we're also bringing this one to an end. This is why we're attacked by military brainwave technology. I believe I was attacked as part of some type of a black op to practice before they put it on the masses. That's what I kind of feel like in my position, my situation, from what I can gather. I think they did it to people like me to try to persuade me away from lasting this long, saying what I say, doing what I do. And it was so they could test it out to use on everybody. We all need a hiatus at times. Most definitely we do. Most definitely we do. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with needing a break. Nothing wrong with that at all. Magic isn't real. Well, to me, magic is spirit. And spirit's as real as, or more real than anything we know. You feel like you've set yourself free finally? Well, I do too in a way. And I think the more free you become, the more you realize that you're a slave. You know what I mean? Like the more you realize that you can't help but not. You see you see how they've got you, like in every way. You see it. And it's like it's hard not to see that. Once you get to that point, man, of where you're like, all right, I understand it now. And that's why I think the Bible says that wisdom is sorrow and that true knowledge is grief. Because it is. Right? It's like meaningless. Everything is meaningless. There's nothing new under the sun. Right? Like, and these are the wisest people to ever walk the earth. And people wonder why they call genius madness or the most authentic, probably beautiful minds we've had in this world are usually, either depressed or insane. I think it's because they all come to similar conclusions. I don't feel like there's no such, I don't feel like those are feeble-minded people at all. We've had some of the greatest minds come to these conclusions. I think the feeble mind would be one that tries to hold on to this and ascribe meaning to a bunch of meaningless shit. Because you need it. You need it to justify your existence. You need it to you need it to feel important. You need it to feel like you matter. It's that trap of acceptance we all have. We all want to be accepted. We all want to be loved. And the system raises us up to where from day one, there's hierarchies and all of this to kind of keep us, pawing at that goal. And then in society, same thing. The social structure and all of that. So at a base level, all of us want that, whether we're lying to ourselves or not. And you know what? One of the things that and I think it becomes easier not to care about those things the more you're rejected by it. Right? The more you're rejected by it. It's easier to say, well, I don't care about any of that because, you've been rejected by it so much that you mean it's easier not to hurt. It's easier not to feel that rejection. So that's why you don't care. Or that's why you don't seek acceptance. Can you guys not hear something? Yeah, fear, fear, fear. Um, Lower vibration trying to keep us in fear? Sure. Yeah. Fear is just the illusion there, though. Like, fear is like in your mind. It's you imagining something that hasn't even fucking happened yet. You know? You imagine a possibility that may not ever happen. And it keeps us prisoner. Right? We're prisoners to situations, circumstances, other fucking people. We're afraid of like what people will think about us if we do something different than what everyone expects us to do. Low sound. Let me see here. I apologize. Let me try to turn up the sound. Yeah, it's way low. Here we go. Better? Is that better, guys? Yeah, that's way better. Way louder. My bad. Yeah. Fear is a mind virus. Yeah, fear is definitely a mind virus. We have to focus what we can do in a positive way. Sure. Slowly work on your way past their grasp. Take ownership of your trust. Well, the thing is, though, and is that louder? Everybody let me know if you can hear me now. Like, if that's louder and better, please. So I know. It should be, by the way. It should be. Okay, cool. Cool, man. I don't know why it went down so low. Like I said, this is a new computer. I just slapped everything together last night after updating it. I've been sick as fuck. And I just, but I'm trying to snap out of it today, and I'm gonna try to make a video tonight. It's buffering a little on your end. I'm probably on the wrong internet. It's probably why. I apologize if that's so. But guys, like, what are we gonna do? When it's all said and done, like, we're really responsible for ourselves, and well, but the whole Trump supporter thing was controlled opposition. Like, that's what that was. That was controlled opposition. It was to make us feel like we were battling against the system, right? The best opposition is to lead it. And that's what they did with us. Much better. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Very kind of you to tell me. Thank you. But that's what they did with us, And they railroaded a bunch of good people, too. That's probably one of the things that pisses me off most about that movement, was it railroaded a bunch of people that would have ended up at the truth into some whole other shit. Back into trusting the government plan and shit like that. Like, fuck, man. And then they all got set up on January 6th for a manufactured event, and you can't tell me that he wasn't behind that. He was still in office. Like, this is what they do. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They take over every grassroots movement. That's why there are no more YouTubers left. That's why. There's a few good ones. A few. But I think most, even the good ones that are left, have been devoured by the system too. That's why they're so different than they was years ago. And, it's like they didn't have to sell out, or they didn't have to take them over. They just got taken over by it themselves. Love thy neighbor. Yeah, no doubt, love thy neighbor. And that's a problem. You can't get people to get behind something anymore. There's too many somethings. Like, Like, oh, here, get behind my calls when you got 1,000 other causes you can get behind. Right? And that's what they've done. They've created such a fucking, rat's nest of division, Nobody's going to unify behind one voice, one thing anymore. We just make these little groups now and isolate ourselves that way. And then they can pick us off easier. But we need to thank you. Smash the like. Thank you. Yeah, you guys could do that if you want. You guys can hit that like button and subscribe for me. That'd be cool. But yeah, it's like we got too many voices out there now, and everybody's hollering a different thing. Everybody's like, "Yo, listen to my calls." Right? Like, yo, come over here with me. We got the answers. Or, you know what I mean? It's like, nobody's got the fucking answers. None of you do. So, look on your channel. So what? Nothing new under the sun. Distractions. That's right, bro. That's right. It's distractions. And then, you know what? And I see it. It's happened to me, dude. It's happened to me. They might have a good person, a good soul that really does want to affect change. But once they get into the arena of all of this, dude, it loses something. I don't know how to explain it, man. But it becomes about money. It becomes about all the wrong fucking things, man. Because you can't exist without money. So then you're like, yo, I need money. I need donations. I need this. I need that. Because you're trying to keep this idea you believe in so much going. And you don't know that as you're trying so hard to keep it going, you're destroying it at the same time. Now think about that. How fucked up is that? Right? By trying to nurture an idea, by trying to nurture a cause, by trying to make sure that it'll suffice and continue, you're destroying it. How fucking crazy is that? Right? You're doing both to it at the same time. Because then, people start to believe that your ideas are no longer about your ideas and that it's about only money. Right? That's what the world system works off of. And that's where they strangle your ideas, is with that. They use it for, they don't use it, they let you use it to kill yourself. They let you use it to kill yourself. That's what they do. Yeah, hey, and we gotta man up. That's all you can do is man up. Right? Like, I know I've added to the bullshit myself. And I know when I started, it was a lot more pure than what it has become. And I know some of it is just by me not understanding how it all worked is what's got it all screwed up, and it's hard to inspire, it's hard to inspire people to want to be great, or to want to be more, or to want to give more or do more, right? If you can't do it yourself. So, let's go, Brandon. Ego. Yeah. Ego. It's a deadly trap on YouTube for sure. Deadly trap. Ego. You either have people telling you you're right nonstop, right? So then you believe it. You start to believe that everything you say, every idea, all that you do is right, even when you're wrong. Or it goes the other direction, and where people are criticizing you all the time, and you become so defensive that you won't listen to any outside advice or anything because everybody's always criticizing you. So you're like, I'm good on what you have to say, period. Right? And you shut everyone out. It's either one. Take your pick. I've been through both of them multiple times, right? And it's hard to like just humble yourself and say, okay, well, this is my fuck up. That's my fuck up. This is where I turned right when I should have went left, and just, all of those things, I mean, we all do play different roles. Yes, we do. We all play different roles, and I don't know if anybody's, like, how many people are willing to play, anymore. The stakes are really high now, Things are really insane. I'm happy to see you too, Lauren. Thank you. The stakes are really high, right? Like I said, people go into self-preservation mode at the time when it's like they get us to do whatever is counterintuitive to ourselves. If it's somebody that's speaking, well, the most counterintuitive thing that I could do is become egotistical. So that's what they'll push me to do. Right? If it's a person watching, the most counterintuitive thing that, you could do would be to get behind something and support something and stuff like that. So that's what they want you to do. So they got ways to distract and control us at so many levels. This is the Fourth Reich, right? It didn't stop with the third, is what, it didn't stop. Like all good Babylonian empires, it just changed faces, changed looks. That's it. Constantine and all of that, and the Romans, and then the Vatican, and all of it just went from political to religious, from religious to political, and just military, and just all of it, man. It's been Greece, Rome, U.S., all of these places. These are all Babylon. The world is Babylon. Right? It's adopted a million lifestyles, a million faces. I think you're on the backup channel there, Sharon, but yeah, I appreciate you. That's and we can do better, and I'm not talking about do better for me or my channel or anything. We can just do better for ourselves. Like on some whole other shit. On some whole other shit. We don't have to, I would be happy with the world even, like, if it doesn't matter if I'm doing this or not, if we got our shit together. Truth be told. And, it feels like shit a lot of times. Hey, bud, nice to see you too. It feels like shit, like that we gotta kind of like put these Hollywood production type shit together to even talk. You know what I'm saying? Like it speaks to the frame of mind we're in. We're mesmerized. We're under the magic spell so hard that we can't even receive information unless it's set up that way. The way that we were indoctrinated. The way that we were programmed We can't accept information unless it comes to us spoon-fed that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nuts. It's nuts. Nobody's trying to change it either. They know they'll fail miserably if they do. They'll fail miserably if they do. So what do you do? What can you do? It's the only reason that they're winning. Damn. Hey, Ali. Somebody sent me a video, Ali, of one of your videos, and it's like, I heard you on there, John. It was actually a girl I used to talk to, sent it to me. I was like, yep, I love Ali. Does good stuff. They do not love the truth. It's plain and simple. Well, how about not loving the truth, but how about loving people? We can love the truth and still not love people. You have to love both. You have to love both. You know, loving the truth is not enough anymore. We have to love people too. Each other mainly. And we gotta all get past our egos now. You know. And we gotta all do something to add to something and not take away. I'm super smart and blew your mind daily for like 1 year. Well, that's great. I'm glad for a year straight you got your mind blown every day. That's hilarious. Should have took the left at Albuquerque. Don't make me laugh. It hurts, dude. Yeah, no, like, and that's what I mean. Like, I feel like what I'm doing isn't enough either. So, like, I don't think whenever I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me too, by the way, just so you know. Sometimes people get in the chats and they're like, how dare you talk to us like that? I'm talking to me too. So, just so you know that. Like, it's not just enough now to say, okay, I love the truth, right? Well, good. What are you going to do with it? Right? It's awesome. So how are you going to use it? Or, I love people. Well, how are you going to help them? What are you going to do for them? We're losing the practicality of all these things. And I don't like that question. What can we do really? Anything is better than nothing. And if we all keep that attitude of what can we even do, right? Nothing ever gets done. We keep a victim mentality and we shift all the blame off into everybody else. Yeah, you can pray. You can pray if you want. But prayer ain't enough. You need action. You need action. Right? Do things to help other people's lives. It's that simple. We can all do that without YouTube. We can all do that without anything. All of us can do that. Whatever your gift is, whatever you have to contribute to a cause, contribute to another person's life. That's what we could all do. And if we all do those things, imagine how much more the world would just improve. Seriously. So, yeah. Well, I'm going to wrap this up, guys. I'm sick today. I'm gonna try go get some deep wisdom, and the dog's barking too. There's that. Um, I'm gonna try to go get some cough syrup or something and be feeling a little better. Hopefully by tonight and 10:30 p.m. I'm gonna try to do a video, so you guys can join me then if you want. Why is this words you've heard all week? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Seriously. If you guys get something from this, please consider, donating, supporting to my work, and I'd be grateful. And yeah, please hit the like, share, and subscribe, guys. I love you all, man. Thank you for coming and watching. You guys are the greatest, for real.